Good evening and a warm, fiery welcome to each one of you. What better way to ignite change than through a conversation that sparks ideas, challenges, norms, and sets action into fire motion, right? Welcome to the first session of Ignite Talks, a powerful monthly fireside dialogue series under the Alliance program of the International Youth Alliance for Peace. This isn't just another webinar. We call this a fireside talk for a reason because it's designed to feel warm, personal, real, and reflective. Just like you would gather around a fire to share stories and wisdom, this space is created for you to listen, learn, reflect, and act. Today marks the beginning of a series of 8 powerful fireside talks, each followed by a regional cross-border discussion. Together, this session form a journey of learning and co-creation across South Asia. So what to expect today from our session? You'll hear from an incredible speaker who will share their story, expertise, and real-life case studies around youth-led climate action. You'll have the opportunity to ask questions via chat during the session and interact directly during the Q&A portion. Your ideas and reflections from this session will feed into our Sunday cross-border dialogue on the same topic, where you will be the speaker in a regional round table format, joined by youth participants from Afghanistan, Nepal, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka. That discussion will be collaborative, strategic, and forward-looking, and your contribution will help shape a report that will be published and shared across platforms. So what makes this special? This series is none of. At IYAP, we believe in long-term engagement and sustainable knowledge exchange. We work with over hundreds youth organization across region and run 9+ active programs spanning leadership, advocacy, peace building, education, and many more. This fireside series is your opportunity to join a larger movement that connects youth-led action to real-world strategies. So how the participation and certification works? Only those who are attending via Zoom will be eligible for certificates. After every session, a feedback form will be shared. It must be filled to receive your participation certificate. And participants who complete 80% of the full series, 8 fireside sessions plus 8 regional dialogues, will receive a certificate of completion. And also, the most active committed participant will be recognized with a digital badge, certificate of recognition, and a chance to be featured online. Please make sure your Zoom name include your full name and country. This helps us to track participation. Also, kindly turn on your videos if possible. This builds presence and community. If you have data or privacy concerns, just let us know via chat. So a little bit more about the technical guidelines. This session will be streamed live on our official YouTube page and also Facebook page. And also, please keep yourself muted during the talk. You can unmute yourself during the Q&A session. The regional cross-border dialogue on Sunday will take place at the same time on the same Zoom link and will be streamed on YouTube as well. A tracker of participation will be shared in the WhatsApp group, which will also be used to send you reminders, background images, and updates. So there's one more little thing. So what do we expect from you guys? We want you to be prepared. This is a platform for you to grow. So come with your ideas and questions. And don't forget to be engaged. Share what you learn with your communities. And be connected. Help us build a network of young change makers. So before we begin today's session, let's take a quick moment to open the chat and do a 1-minute check-in. So as for the tradition in IYAP, share in one word to describe how you are feeling as we kick off this journey together. We want to know in one word what you're coming into this session with.
I think it's a great learning platform for youth.
Yeah, thank you for that. You can actually use chat books for that. In one word, please tell us how how you guys are feeling now with what you guys are coming to the session. We have ones who are excited, inspired, motivated, and happy. That's so nice to hear. And one more little thing before we start the session today. Let's take a quick group photo before the session starts. So please turn on your cameras and give us your best smile. In 3, 2, 1. Okay. Thank you, guys. Okay, now the moment we have been waiting for. It's my absolute pleasure to introduce our first speaker in the Ignite Talk series. Today, we have an incredible facilitator with us. Mr. Prabuddha Batuate is a dynamic professional with over 15 years of experience at the intersection of engineering, sustainability, and business development. He's led some of Sri Lanka's most pioneering projects in solid waste management with a strong emphasis on plastic waste, solution, and circular economy practices. His experience spans strategic partnerships, SME development, and working across sectors to push for systematic change. And today, he brings all that depth and energy to guide us through this powerful discussion. So without further ado, I'm excited to hand over this session to Mr. Prabuddha Batuate. Sir, the floor is yours.
Well, Samadhi, thank you very much for that kind introduction. And hello, everyone. Aiboan. We are from Sri Lanka, and it's great to be here on this forum. And I take this opportunity to thank IYAP for having me this in young and energetic forum, which I'm quite passionate about. And then I would love to share my experiences and what we learned throughout my career, and then impart that knowledge with and share that knowledge with you, and then hopefully that will lead to much more exciting things from your end in an individual level as well as in a collaboratively. Together you can make take it to the next level. Before I get into the slides and move on with it, I would like to share my view on this session. It feels quite personal to me. I work quite a lot of young people, youth groups, school children, and in fact, the views and the ideas that I share with them, that is exactly what I want to share with my own two daughters as well. So this is coming from a very personal and deeper place of love. And then I thought this would set that tone and for a deeper level of engagement. And then I'm also ready to learn from your experiences. So hopefully we'll get into a few things that we can learn from each other and get it going. So I'm also I've been told I am the first one of the 12 series session, and is quite a bit gives me the inspiration and motivation as well as some sort of a little pressure to set the bar a bit high. So I'll try my best, and with all your support, let's get going. Thank you very much. The people in this forum, the youth, quite frankly, the strength and the core of any civilization, I suppose, because they are living the present, but what we do is we'll set the future for them, and so they're going to be living that part of their life. So that is how impactful the youth is in our journey in the world. So the lead that coming from the what you call the youth-led climate action, in a sense, is quite a timely topic at the moment. Climate action, you've been hearing quite a lot in the media, and also in every social media forum. There's a lot happening, quite the buzzword these days. So with that said, what's the role that the youth can do here? What's the most powerful, energetic part of civilization can do here? Is what we want to discuss here. I would like to share my experiences with you, and then let's see how we can get it to the next level moving forward. So as I said in the first slide, you are not the leaders of tomorrow, you are the disruptors of today. We are here to spark action together, as the IYAP forum has said, on that tone, that you want to share experiences and then ignite, as the name suggests, that you want to take it to the next level. So let's get into the next slide. Right. So when we talk about this climate action, why climate action is an issue is that it's been understood that there's a lot of things happening. You see in the news, there's a lot of devastating climate related events are happening. It's not a future threat. It is happening, and it's a present day emergency. I would like to highlight. It's happening today. Somewhere in the world, somewhere in a village, someone is actually suffering from this climate change, which is accelerated by the human activity. We can have a different dialogue whether climate change is actually done by our human activities only. That's a different discussion, which I'm not going to take it today. But it has certainly accelerated through the human activity. So that's where it has affected all sorts of outcomes, where you see these extreme weather conditions, food insecurities, and then a lot of people have to move from one place to the other. And the climate inequality part is that not the people who are actually contributing to the most for the climate change or climate action are not the ones actually being hit the hardest. So it's like someone else is doing something, but the other end, somewhere you don't know, you've never seen, getting affected. So that is the, let's say, the brutal part of climate action, and that's where the lot of vulnerable communities are getting affected. People who has the least are getting affected. So this is the uncertainty as well as the unfairness of climate action. So which actually brings to the point that we need to get in together, and that we are all in one in this subject matter, because we all if someone get affected, it's a matter of time the other person will getting into the same eventuality. So with that understanding, climate action is a collective thing. It will affect you at some point. That is the key message I want to get out. Why now? Well, there has been a lot of climate related discussions have been done, and then I don't want to get into the politics and the bureaucracies of how the climate change has come into quite a topic these days. But the Paris Agreement, the COP28 and all that, let's leave it there. I'm more focusing on the what can be done, actionable, tangible, what can be achieved in a real time scale with creating an impact. Based on these activities, the temperature increase in certain the greenhouse gas emissions, that has directed to a temperature increase, that has created quite a lot of changes in the ecosystem on Earth. It has affected people, the animals, the biodiversity, and so many aspects has been already affected. And so this is why this is a crucial issue. So if we delay our interventions, that will certainly end up in a disaster as we experience it already now. But only hope is that we do the best we can do at this moment and then keep it doing for the coming good times to minimize the impact of climate change on the humans and the ecosystems we have on Earth. So with that understanding, I want to bring everyone to the urgency as well as the importance of this climate action, which you already quite comfortably know. But I just thought that will set the tone for the next few slides. So if you go to the next one. Right. Now, since we are coming from different parts of the South Asia region, I just want to take a quick chat response from you. What kind of extreme weather patterns or unusual or out of the ordinary climate related events you came across recently in your area or in your country? Maybe you can share some thoughts on the chat so I can see. Because in Sri Lanka, for example, we had showers and rains which are not particularly in the season, which has actually affected the harvest. And then we were having some temperature hikes on unusual months. These sort of things are happening and quite strange. And then I saw a lot of the media is actually coined the new word climate weirdness as well at certain points. So because it's becoming unpredictable, and then as well as it's not consistent with what we have. So what is happening in maybe perhaps in India, our people from Bangladesh, I suppose, and then Pakistan, I've been told. So what's happening in your area? Maybe you can have a quick chat and I'll spend about 30 seconds to 45 seconds and then we can get it going. So Fatima is saying heat, of course, in Sri Lanka, yes. What else? Smoke issue, yes. That can in Pakistan, Lahore. Thanks for sharing that. Right. Okay. Thanks for that, Nishant. Yes. Then I mean, we can go to the next slide as well while we talk. I think in 2022, 2023, Pakistan they had quite a bit of a extreme heat wave as well as a flooding situation, which quite the opposite, and two extremes are happening in like back to back within like very short amount of period window. So that is something. And in Sri Lanka, as I mentioned, the rainy season, the farmers are planning in certain rainy seasons for harvesting, but the rain came on early or delayed in certain areas. And then extreme heat waves in Colombo, but torrential rains in northern part of the country. So likewise, that is the situation. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. Let's go to the next slide, please. Right. So the trends and the realities being global, you see in whether it may be in Australia or in USA, you see the devastation that happened, record heats, extreme weather, rising seas, and regional monsoons, floods, droughts. We all know in the region. But overall, in a sense, in all around the countries in the world, we see this. See these extreme weather events, which could relate to, could as well as which most likely to relate to climate related issues. So let's go to the next one. Right. So now the important question: why youth? Why youth is important and why they are a critical player? Why you are the ones in the in this group are quite relevant and important in solving dealing with climate action. if you take the demographic in South Asia, 60% is less than 30, which means you are considered as youth, which means that allows you quite a bit of time ahead of you to live with these results and what's happening on the country. So whatever the decisions today will be affected and sustained and directly impact your life as the young generation. At the same time, I mean, this is the precious things with the youth. You are creative, you are innovative, you love to take risks. And if you take a little baby, a toddler who's actually starting to their curiosity, their courage, these things sustain in a youth soul. So this is what we need. We need more courageous people. We need more people who can take risk, calculated risk, educated risk. So youth actually possess these potential to go forward, and they are fast mobility, and you know you can mobilize very quickly. Your spirit level, the energy levels are very high, so you can get together and get things done very quickly, efficiently, productively. These are the plus points from a youth perspective, and also, of course, the tech savviness, which plays a big role, which we'll discuss in the coming slides. And also, I think that radical moral compass is always sticking with you, and I think that will lead to do more impactful, do the right thing by everyone, be fair, be justice. Play the justice role in a society where it is quite required, and we believe that is in your DNA. And also entrepreneurship, disruptive, and also I think if you take from an industry perspective, from an employer or employers, the job market actually like to have young people. No offense on the elderly generation or in that part, their experience is quite valid. That's where the experience counts a lot. But at the same time, looking at the future and building in terms of partnerships, this is a real feedback that we also get from the employer side and then the job market. They would like to have young energetic people who can, because they feel the connection. They are good with building relationships, they are good with building partnership. With that sort of energy there is quite required. So youth is pretty much the soul of this game. And then you are very important, and you are more important than you think. You can make a difference. You can potentially make this world a better place, quite in a much more influential manner. So now we know climate change, what's the basics of it, and we know why the timing, and now we also know why the youth is important, what role they play here. And with that understanding, we would go to the next slide. Okay. I thought also let's do a quick crack on the buzzwords. What do you understand by climate mitigation? What do you understand by adaptation? And what do you understand by resilience? Maybe you can quickly take a minute and then put your answers on the chat box. These are quite frequently heard on the media or social media, but I want you to get the real the definition of it, because that will help you to articulate certain things when moving forward on the climate subject. Okay. All right. While you're typing, let's move forward as well. Let's go to the next one. All right. So I just put a little infographic there. Right. Thanks, Fatima, for putting your response. But so the climate mitigation is pretty much reducing the greenhouse gas emissions, which we believe is the main cause of climate change, right? And for adaptation, how can we adjust to the current climate impacts, and the resilience is strengthening the capacity, and how can we recover from it? Whatever happens, how can we recover? So it's a capacity we have to have within ourselves to react to the climate changes, and then how can we overcome those, and then how can we come back to our normal status, normal way of living. That's what the resilience is about. Adaptation is you adjust yourself to adapt to the changes, and then mitigation is to reduce the greenhouse. So these three keywords you always hear, but sometimes people use it in and out, I mean, interchangeably, and then try to understand the meanings behind it, because that will actually ease your way of thinking when you're finding solutions, right? Okay. I don't want to dwell too much into these definitions. Don't worry about definitions, but get the understanding so we can work on projects, and when it helps to develop your ideas and put it into action, right? Okay, thanks for people who put your responses. Thank you very much. Let's go to the next one. Right. Now, over time, if you take the youth today versus 20 years ago, there are certain dynamics have changed, right? The dynamics have quite changed, and the way we think, the life on Earth, the technology, the convenience factors we have, the life living styles, they have changed. Now, what we see recently, and what is happening is the youth is quite knowledgeable. They have access to knowledge, so rather than the physical simple level of activities from protest, now they are targeting at a policy level interventions, which is good. I mean, not only the reactives that happen, but in order to be proactive, you need a policy level thing. Actions can, in order for the actions to sustain in the long term, you need the policies in place. It helps in geopolitics. It helps with how you're dealing your internal issues. In the country-wide situations, they all come to a policy level framework. So we see that trend, which is quite. I personally believe in policy level intervention for the long term, which actually carries the sustainability angle for it. So I think that shift is quite admirable personally, and I think that is for the best as well. Also, climate equity, we spoke about it. The people who are getting affected are not the same people, and then the measures they have to react and adjust to it are not the same. So that is a concern that is also happening. And the youth in these days in different areas, they actually quite do a remarkable job of very active role in this. With the rise of the technology, we see a lot of technological interventions, software development, AI, machine learning. These sort of things are coming into play in the areas of plastic waste innovations, as mentioned, the technology in terms of automobile transformation. A lot of the e-bikes, the e-vehicles are coming, and also clean energy access. You've heard about the hydrogen economy and all these new terms with zero renewable energy portfolios, that sort of thing, and also climate resilience agri-tech, which is actually on the rise as well. So a lot of these regenerative principles are built into these things. So these are kind of the tech and innovation side of things, which actually the youth is very comfortable, and they have a lot of strengths and skills in this domain, which we should highly utilize in the climate tech. Dealing when we deal with climate action, but this tech and innovation part of the youth, we should be utilizing at a higher rate as well. And also digital activism and online movements. I think these social media, TikTok and Instagram, these kind of things actually helps your digital storytelling journey quite quite convenient, as well as it is a great tool to get the message across to larger volumes in a short amount of time, which is quite required in this day and age, right? Okay, let's go to the next one. Right. Now I want to get this basic understanding of yours on this subject matter, in how you can put it into action. What are the checklists? What are the barriers? What are the opportunities available there for you to put these things into action? You might be a student, you might be an entrepreneur, you might be someone who is leading a community, a youth community in your area, and you might be a social media influencer or as a young professional. There might be so many things. So I put down certain things that you can actually, very simple ones. These are just to give the gist of it as well. So while you have that, these are the small things you can do. There's nothing small or not value, not worthy that you do. I mean, whatever you do, whatever the efforts you make in your local sense, that will local level with the people that you know, even the small actions will act and become a big impact at the end. So there's nothing called small, or I am minute, I'm not capable, that sort of thing. That age is over. You all are capable. You all can make an influence. All you gotta need is you have to get your resources right, get the knowledge right, which is readily available, and then come up with a strategic plan and then implement it. So these tools there's a lot of tools available. At the same time, you have to evolve with the technology as well. So while I have the things you can do on the right side, at the same time, I just want to give a perception that someone, you as the people in this forum are actually engaged with this thing. I want you to compare someone who's actually not in this forum and who is not actually engaging in this climate story or the green economics, green financing. In the job market, I always try to link it into a job market, because that is where the industry is, that is what the industry demands, and it will certainly, as young professionals, it will affect us. So the emerging green careers and also climate entrepreneurship is something that is happening big at scale in the job market. There are a lot of sustainability consultants, circular economy specialists and strategies. There are companies are hiring people to work on their climate resilience policy. Maybe your carbon footprint calculations, auditing, green audits, green financial, how can you bring in green investments? So these kind of whole new domain of new jobs have been created because of these climate related issues that is happening. I mean, job market is always trying to solve the problems in the job in the world. As a result, it will create jobs, right? So people who are actually, as people who are working on this will actually give you an upper hand when you get into the job market as an entrepreneur, or maybe you work in a company who's doing this, whatever it may be, you are already having a lead on the game, because you already exposed and engaged in these things, and then the networks and the knowledge and the experience that you get here will speak thousands of words in your job interview, and it will help. I just want to give that plus point. While I appreciate it, this is the real situation in the job market compared to people. So what we need to do is we need to bring these people on board as well, because this is going to be the second nature in the coming 10, 20 years. Climate, circularity, environment will be one of the most frequently spoken subject matter in the coming years. Let's go to the next one. Next slide, please. Right. Now, I would like to as we discuss about this in your area, in your environment, whatever the society, university, or what the local community you are working with, you need to take these ideas and then see how we can put it into action, right? When you do it, when you come to the implementation part or the strategizing part, I would like to I want you to consider these points which I have mentioned here. Because from experience, what we find is you need to, the most successful projects we have done so far, they always had a great workable economic model built in. Without the economic model, the projects we had, it is only for the project period and it dies down. That is from experience, and given the circumstances of the economy and the financial crisis and the situations with financial capabilities, it is much more preferable, and it most likely it works if it for the long game is because of an economic model. So make sure when you come to a business model creating with an opportunity, which we'll discuss in detail an example, that having a workable, sustainable economic model in built is very crucial. And also that actually helps the sustainability part of it, because it for the long game it sustains because it has an economic model built in, and there's a profit, and then that profit actually goes back into the model, and then the gears can keep turning. Otherwise, if it is funded by someone and then the fund is over, the project will die most likely. So I just want to keep that in your mind. This is a real time example, and this is a real lesson that we learned from working on the field, right? And also it has to be scalable. And then most importantly, I can't highlight enough, and I can give enough importance for the collaborations and the partnerships that you come across. You might be working with other colleagues of yours, professionals, private sector, and perhaps the government sector, public servants, community leaders, volunteers, kids, students, whatever it may be. Having collaborations and partnerships is a very, very crucial factor. Without these partnerships and sustainable collaborations, we cannot move, because you don't have all resources, you don't have all the resources in hand, and you are not capable to bring in all the resources into your project. So what you need is strategic partnerships that you can complement your whatever you are missing. Someone can come in and do it, or maybe you can join forces to make it better, or whatever your strength can be given to some other party in return, and then you can get another one of their strengths to support for the common goal. So collaborations and partnerships and networking is a must. I would urge you to take networking sessions as much as possible and have a very strategic way of collecting and maintaining your networks. That is very crucial as a young professional of your age, because in a matter of time, in the coming times, what you know and who you know is your strength. That is going to be the biggest asset. So because knowledge and everything will be in your palm, you can just use an AI model and get it. But the people factor, which is going to be the niche in the coming years. So make sure you treat your networks, partnerships, and collaborations at your highest, because that's going to be the next biggest asset in the future for you. So as I said, nothing is small. Start local. Local resources are you're familiar with. You know what's the need of the local sense is. So start local. I always start local, because that's my area. I have an upper hand of knowing my area. I know the people, so it's easier to get into things, and then simple, easy steps will actually can accumulate and convert into a bigger one. And innovativeness, of course. I mean, the young professionals, they always have it. The impact, it can start with local, and then at the same time it can go to the reach to the highest amounts of heights in regional and global level. Of course, the smallest ideas have reached the entire world these days. So we have a lot of examples of that. With that, I want to go into the next slide. Right. So since I'm from Sri Lanka, and then I worked with couple of major projects in waste management. I would like to share this case study with you as an example. And I thought this is one of the best examples I can share in this forum, which is valid and relevant for this forum. Remember the checklist we discussed? I want you to scan in your mind and tick those things in this slide, because now this is a plastic bottle collection program in schools we did in the down south Galle area with an awareness. Up to date, after almost 2 years, it is still running. It is happening, it is working, and it is functioning, which is a great pleasure for us, because that means the model is sustainable and model is working. So what we did is we've selected about 30 schools in Galle area, and we've started a plastic bottle collection awareness campaign and a collection competition as well. So what we did is these are students from I mean all ages can do it, but we I would like to stay on the slide before for a minute, Samari. So in that one, we had the Zero Plastic Movement, which is a university volunteer group. Actually, they are young professionals and young academics like yourself that actually working. They did the training for the students in the schools. We as the International Donor Funding Agency, we did the TOT, the training of the trainers program for the Zero Plastic Movement university students, and those students went to school students and they trained the prefects and the environmental club members and also the senior students. So those students who actually trained the grade 6, 7, 8. So it has a trickle effect. So we went from top to down, and then the school, the collaboration and the support from the school children, the school administration, eventually the parent. Actually, when these kids go home and then they actually send the message that plastic is bad, we need to collect these plastics. And then we shouldn't be leaking it to the environment. That message across those partners came on board. Of course, the International Donor Funding did the initial funding, and then local authority actually did the facilitation. Ministry of Education came on board because of the support. So, and also private sector engagement, which played a big role. We had a competition at the end who collected the most number of plastic bottles. So we actually worked with EduTech company to support them. The most number of plastic collected school actually was given with an EduTech software to operate their management information system, which is actually a tech intervention, which actually brought through this plastic waste management project. And for this university students, we actually got a professional mentoring and grooming group, which actually trained all the Zero Plastic Movement volunteers, that gave them a professional mentoring course, which actually when they actually go into the industry, they are well groomed and well prepared for their professional career. And then for the students, as the winners, they got like electric bikes, and then the teachers and administration, they got products made as gifts. They got gifts and appreciations. Likewise, all these happen, and there was an economic model built in. Whatever the plastic they collected and sold, the municipal council go and purchase it. So whatever the money made, that will go to their development fund in the school. and also sometimes they use it for the environmental club operations as well. So likewise, let's go to the next slide. Likewise, it was sustainable and there was training included, and there was also a lot of collaboration and partnerships played a big role. You see the TOT on the side, and then that's the training of the trainers for the university volunteers, and then the university volunteers go to the schools and they do the training for the kids from all ages. That was one. And then if I go to the next slide, take that learning take that learning, and then the kids actually, because it was a competition, kids had the momentum and the competitiveness that they want to collect most, who collect the most. There's the individual collection rate as well as a school, so that builds the leadership and then togetherness and teamwork as well. And then they actually got they get that message and went home, and then they got their parents to come on board as well. And then this also, in Sri Lanka, cricket is huge. I mean, that's quite normal in South Asia. Even in the cricket big matches season, the kids actually collected all their plastics in the match, and then they segregated that waste and give it to the municipal council, which now sports became a part of it. And then the kids, they do these events, plus they're trying to minimize the plastic usage in these events. Likewise, a whole heap of another domino effect actions generated from this project, and then it is still running to date. I think we've passed 3.5 metric ton mark after two years of collection with the participation 10 to 15 schools. So likewise, we are really glad that we actually managed to create something like that, because that project sustained after the project period, which we require that autonomy to move on, creating impactful results for the community. And then all the youths participated in this project, did a tremendous work, and that actually took it to the next level of doing a greater job in the plastic waste. So this is an example that we would like to share with you. And this case study is from Sri Lanka. And then if you take it, this can be replicated in all other parts of Sri Lanka, any province, and even not only schools. You can go into universities, you can go to any other technical college, and also even if it is on other schools, another country level, I mean India, Pakistan, any of our friendly neighbors, you can do that as well. So that is a scalable model which was sustainable, economic model built in, it works, and the youth played their role and then generated the greatest result that we were expected. And we are very happy to see that that is still going to date, which actually makes quite a happy person out of me, because we were very happy that we created that model that works for up until today, and we hope it will work as well, and then it scale into other parts of the country as well. So with that, I think I'm a little over my time. Maybe a bit over, but I hope I managed to gather the points that we want to discuss, and I hope it gave some insights and shared our experience, and you will take it to the next level and do a better and a greater job than us moving forward as the young professionals of the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Prabhuda, for those powerful insights. So I just, as you were speaking, a few thoughts and questions were coming to my mind, just things I was personally curious about and thought it might be valuable to explore a little further with our participants. So my first question is, what are some successful examples of youth-led climate initiatives in our region, and how can they be scaled up globally?
Right. Yes. So, I mean, certainly one of the examples I explained, the school project is something that is scalable straight away. I mean, this environment is already there in anywhere. Apart from that, I think I've seen that there are a lot of solar panel related initiatives in India. I think they've done some schools with solar panel installations, and there were some. I mean, there were another project in also in India. I think I've heard that they've taken the non-recyclable plastic waste with multiple layers that you can't actually recycle. I mean, the cost of recycling is quite high. I mean, the only option, because it's not recycled, is the only option is to burn them. But now there were some alternative technologies where they are bringing in these crushed packaging materials with your biscuits and all that, and you crush it and then you make sheets, and then those sheets can be make into cupboard storage, library. And then I think the certain areas they get into furniture as well. I think there's another project that I'm also involved in Sri Lanka as well. We are also developing that. So those things can be actually used in for library facilities, maybe toilet facilities where they need these sanitary requirements. Those kind of initiatives are there. And then organic level biodegradable materials are coming into play. In a lot of the organic waste has been converted into and value added into other things. And textile waste, you've seen all around in Pakistan as well. I've seen all these textile materials being used. So likewise, those are the things, I mean, you come across in the region, but these things can actually scale up and then go bigger and better in the region as well.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. Just another question I have is, what role can youth play in bridging the gap between grassroots activism and policymaking in climate action?
Sorry, Samadhi, you were breaking down. Sorry, what is it?
Okay. The question was, sir, the role that youth can play in bridging the gap between grassroots activism and policymaking in climate action.
All right. Okay. Yes. I mean, I gather that I mean, taking the strengths of the youth that they can bring it in. I think they can be great ambassadors, I believe, and that can bring these play a big role in the communication of these policy level discussions. You see, sometimes. Let's say the ecosystem is in a school level, and then and also say university. So the dynamics in that ecosystem is not 100% understood by the policymakers, even though they should be. But there might be gaps because you are not in that system. You don't know the practical bottom level, ground level implications of that ecosystem. So I think the youth can make a big role in that taking these communication to the policymakers. So they can be the ambassadors as well as the communicators. And also, I think policymakers, I mean, at some points we were in that range as well. We would like to take the creativeness and the rush and then the urgency these young people have to get the message across to larger volumes. I mean, traditional communication and then traditional communication platforms are there, but it's much more exponentially fast and effective in the social media. So these policymakers can embed these technologies and dynamics into their equations with the support of the youth and the young professionals. So I think in that manner they have quite a role to play. And it has been working, and we would like to see more and more in that level.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So one final question is, like, how can technology and innovations driven by youth enhance regional responses to climate change?
Right. Yeah, I mean, I would take straight away that IYAP is actually doing that, right? I mean, you're creating a platform for the youth to come on board in such a forum, and then the regional experiences, and then different people, different youth and professionals from different countries are coming together such a forum. So this is exactly what we need to do. We need to scale and do more and more of that. At the same time, I mean, if I add on to it, I mean, the technology, the digital storytelling part I was mentioning, whether it may be TikTok, Instagram, whatever that is, that all available forums that you have, you can bring into the equation and the tech savvy, and then especially we see a big jump in the agri-tech industry in Sri Lanka. A lot of young people are getting into it because agri-tech, the regenerative agriculture, and then where the technology has a big play. And then you see, if you take the harvest, I mean, about 30 to 40% of the harvest is wasted because of storage or transportation. So these things are improved. These improving technologies are there, and then the materials, and then the some of the raw materials they are using it from actually waste. So the circularity comes into place. So minimizing the waste generated in processes. Likewise, the technology part and the new product development, these kind of areas, I think young youth and the young people, they have quite a bit of a role to play, and they have been doing it quite a while. And then you see more and more of that happening, which is a really pleasant thing to see. So tech savviness is a strength for the youth. I think we should make the most out of it, which can be quite crucial in solving climate related issues.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. Again, that was actually insightful and eye-opening as well. So again, thank you so much, Mr. Prabuddha, for that incredibly inspiring and insightful talk. Your passion, experience, and clarity on youth-led climate action have truly set the tone for what Ignite Turkey is all about. You have left us with some powerful reflections, from the importance of localizing climate action to the role of youth in turning awareness into strategy. Your real world examples and advice will stay with us as we prepare for the next part of this journey. So before we move into our interactive Q&A session, we will now stop the live streaming on our official